Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a figure I can't wait to have. I love Randy Orton and he just made his return, so it's very apropos, I suppose. Unfortunately, sorry, my dog. He's playing with the toy. Unfortunately, I can't find the Seth Rollins Ultimate Edition. That was supposed to be in my stores months ago. I did see the Andre the Giant, and then I put it back. I went to go pick it up when I got paid, and it was missing too. Somebody got their hands on it before I could, so I think I'm gonna miss out on Seth Rollins, the Ultimate Edition Seth Rollins, because now they're on to the next wave, which is Randy Orton. Unfortunately, I'm still gonna try and hunt it down and see if I can find it somewhere, but I digress. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting with the front of the box, you have this nice window here showing you everything you get, and you do get quite a bit of goodness there. A nicer version of that tag title that I really just dislike the look of that title, but you know, in the Ultimate Edition it looks a little bit cleaner. Of course, Randy Orton at the top, Ultimate Edition down here in the nice silvery goodness. Picture of Randy Orton right there on the side. Picture of Randy Orton right there on the back with the toy version up here at the top. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. A little bit of a bio if you wanted to read the bio. Randy Orton on the side, and now we're back to the front of the box so we can go ahead and transition to the figure. Okay, so this is pretty much all you get. You do get a nice little assortment of goodies, starting with this head sculpt here. More of a smiling, happy version of Randy Orton. Nice goatee and mustache combo there. Looking fairly decent. The top of the head, this hair up here, looks a little wonk compared to like the hair down here. Just like texture-wise and paint-wise, it looks a little weak comparatively to the hair down here. It's just like true FX hair versus just regular old action figure style hair. So it looks a little on the weak side. This one's a little bit more of a stoic Randy. This one, unfortunately, has a lot of defects. You can see there, and there. Looks a little wonk, a little weird. There's so many. Look at there's like white specks all over his face. This one looks a little weird, and now that I'm looking at them together, those are the same, right? This one just has a weird eyebrow, right? Yeah. These are essentially... Did I get two of the same head sculpts? I'll have to look and see what the other Randy Ortons at my local Target look like, see if they come with a different head sculpt, or I guess I can look it up, but that is odd. I just now noticed that for the first time. So then we have an assortment of heads, or hands, I mean. Let's see, should I go hands or belt? I vote hands. So we have one set here of just your regular old basic grabby style hands. Hands for holding microphones or chairs or whatever type of weapons. They look fine. Little weak details there. I wish they could... They're at a point now where texturing on assets like this, like for example, the AJ Styles that just came out not too long ago, I believe that figure, his gloves had a certain type of texturing on the actual gloves, and I think nowadays, like, this is just wrist tape wrapped all the way up. They can make this look a lot better than just classic old paint, especially since they do that on Ultimates. I know on your typical Elite releases, maybe that's not worth it, but on your Ultimates, maybe go the extra mile and texture this on your figure, just because you're paying that extra, what is it, $10-15 almost for these figures. So it would be appreciated, especially on ones that don't really come with like necessarily a lot of accessories. Like this one does. It comes with a neat assortment of accessories, but maybe a figure that comes with like not necessarily a lot, like maybe a clothing item and a couple hands and maybe a head sculpt. Like I think in that case we could see better quality hand sculpts, not just your typical Elite style hand sculpt. So these are the other two. These are just your typical fist hands. Like I said, exactly what you would find across the board, just what you would see in other figures. But we do have the nice tag title, the ugliest tag title I've ever seen. But this is the ultimate version, like I mentioned. So this is actually a little bit nicer than what you would find on a regular old figure. Still not my favorite design for the tag titles. I think it's kind of grown on me, especially looking at it up close and personal. I can see aspects of this that I appreciate. The two gladiators mirroring each other, the WWE logos on the side, the gladiator heads over here. That's all fine. Maybe just having it this perfect circle on this ugly red strap. Not a fan of that. But the strap is textured and detailed. I do appreciate stuff like that. I just think maybe if you shrunk it down here, or maybe just flattened the top and bottom and made it more like circle here, flat across the top, something like that. Maybe it looks like the Intercontinental Championship or something like that. Just doing this perfect circle, this dime shape, it looks really, really bad. That's why they call these the penny and dime championships, because they look like pennies and dimes and not necessarily prestigious title that you'd really want to fight for. But like I said, compared to like your typical version of this belt, this actually looks pretty nice. The nice shiny plastique on the belt looks really, really good compared to the last time I got this belt, which I think was the bronze belt, the penny belt. It did not look very good. It looked very cheap and just really terrible, to be perfectly honest. So that is all the accessories. Oh, that's not all the accessories. I forgot to mention this hoodie right here. So let's go ahead and take this off of Randy, if we can do that. Now, this is what I appreciate about these figures. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. My dogs are getting pretty barkative. But this is basically what I mean. When it comes to your Ultimates, there's just a different level of quality. More specifically, like on the soft goods. Now, typically, on a regular Elite, or even like the older style Ultimates, your soft goods would just be this kind of crappy, flimsy little sheet, I guess. And it would work. It would resemble what it was going for. It would kind of... It would give you the vibes of what it was trying to do. Some were nicer, like the John Cena shirts were always pretty nice, but some were pretty cheap. Like, I don't know, like we just had a Walter, which came with a really nice soft goods, but it was really thin and see-through, and it looked kind of weird in some areas. There are rumors that Walter is getting Ultimate Edition. Theoretically, he could come with another version of that jacket that's maybe a little bit thicker, comes with a little belt around it. Something like that would look really, really nice. Another example is we recently got the Macho Man with the classic purple t-shirt. Not recently, that was probably like 2 years ago. But a major issue I had with that figure is that shirt was so thin and so see-through. It was basically garbage. There was no point in even keeping that shirt because it was so trashy and it looked really bad on the figure, which is a real shame because it's such an iconic look. So I would think like a later release, a more recent release of that, it would look something more like this. This is a nice thick style of fabric. It's not my favorite. I think this is kind of like a what's it called, microfiber texture. I just don't like that. But you can see it's not like necessarily double layered, but you can see it's kind of thick. And then the way they stitch like here, in order to resemble like a zipper, they just stitched on this piece right here. Just the extra mile to make this look a lot better. You also have the rated RKO, not rated RKO, RK Bro style of snakes and skulls and whatever you want to call it, bones and whatnot. You can kind of see RKO right there, and I think that says Riddle, but it's kind of covered with this bone, this tendril, this tendon, whatever it is. And then over here, RK, and then bro backwards, I think is what it's doing. But yeah, this is just, it's really nice. It's thick. It's not my favorite quality, but it looks really good. And you get stuff like this when you pay $10 extra, which is why I'm saying we can get stuff like that. We could get stuff like textured wrist paint. I mean, even the AEW figures, which are like the cheapest of all figures, they can manage to have certain figures with textured wrist paint. And I think that's something the Ultimates especially could pull off in the future. I'm going to have to adjust the height of this. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now we can actually talk about Randy Orton. So you have his nice tattoos on either side looking very good. You have the more recent tattoo on his lower, kind of like rib cage, not lower rib cage, but lower pec region. Looking pretty good. I don't know what it says. I don't know if you can make it out. I don't even know if there is words to it on the actual person, on Randy. But it's one of his more recent tattoos, so it's nice to have a more modern version of Randy Orton, especially in the Ultimate Edition style body. But you have the nice cool tattoos, the skulls along his arm, the words on his back, the more 2000s era tribal style tattoo that he's had recently covered up. Not recently, it's been since like 2008. Again, more skulls. I love his tattoos. They always look so great. They look a little faded on the figures, unfortunately. Like, they look not as dark in person, which is something that's a little disappointing about these figures, but it looks good enough. And then before I go any further, I forgot to mention, he comes with this more open palm. It's his taunt, his classic, he comes out, he does that taunt where he does like that. That's his hands right there, so it's nice that he comes with that, so you can pose him in that pose. But beyond that, it's just classic Randy Orton style attire. Not any of his attires that, has any special logos or lettering on his trunks. Just classic black knee pads, black boots. Everything about it is very basic, very Randy. But it's nice to have in the Ultimate Edition form, so we can go ahead and talk about the articulation, starting with the head sculpt, which goes back just a little bit, goes forward again just a little bit, wiggles side to side, rotates all the way around like so. Arms come up to about right here. Butterfly joint goes back, butterfly joint goes forward, also goes all the way around like so. Double jointed pinless elbows to about right there, about what you would want, especially for an RKO, like so. Wrist goes in, wrist goes out, wrist goes all the way around like so. Ab crunch looks like it can wiggle side to side, going back just a little, going forward just a little. You add the legs into it, he can bend pretty decently. He can actually bend really well because he does have the new style of legs with the drop down hips. Divisive, to say the least. I enjoy them. I think they add to the character, but it is kind of jarring. You bring your legs down and then you have to push them back up, and in some cases I can see that being annoying, but I appreciate the added articulation. I don't think it's necessary for every figure, especially like a Randy Orton with these skinny style legs. These, no matter what, would have posed pretty decently, but on like maybe like an Undertaker with the thicker type legs, with the pant legs, the leather pant legs, or maybe like like a bigger guy like a Bronson Reed or a Samoa Joe or somebody like that, the drop down hips would help with the articulation there. So I don't know if it's necessary to have that on every figure. I maybe reallocate that money towards a cool accessory or something like that to go with these figures, but I don't know. I do appreciate having it no matter what. Even on like this figure, it's super nice and useful, so I do appreciate it regardless of whether or not I think it's super duper necessary. It just adds a lot. Like, he can kick way high, and this really helps for like if he's doing like the punt, or like if you wanted to recreate that moment where he jumped up in the air like that. super cool, super fun, super exciting. I do love to have that. But yes, so he can do the super kicks like so. He can obviously do the super kicks. Swivel at the thigh, rotates all the way around like so. Double jointed knees, not pinless, but they are double jointed, goes up to about right there. Maybe it could go a little bit more, but this is kind of blocking it a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I can't pull it down. Swivel at the boot, rotates all the way around. Toe hinge, up and down. Ankle, if we can do it. I don't want to break it. It can go down, do a nice point, nice punt, and goes up like so. And slight wiggle, wiggle, wiggle side to side. And that is Randy Orton. This is an absolutely spectacular figure. This is a wonderful representation of Randy Orton. Is it his most exciting attire? No. Is it his most exciting look? No. But it's a fun figure. It's a fun Ultimate Edition. It's a more modern Ultimate Edition, which is something a lot of fans have been clamoring for, getting more modern superstars in the Ultimate Wave, because they've really just focused on classic wrestlers for a long time now, only giving us more modern characters every now and then. And then when it's modern characters, it's the same ones like Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, like people like that, who we've seen a lot of times. John Cena, and we've had plenty of John Cenas, regardless of the fact that the one John Cena was more of a 2006 era John Cena. It was still John Cena, which we had. So, I don't know. Based on the rumors, we're getting a whole wave of modern Ultimate Editions, and potentially we'll be getting a CM Punk soon. I'm sure they want to get that out ASAP. I mean, with Cody, they got that figured out almost instantly. So, I'd hope we can get a CM Punk Ultimate Edition relatively soon, alongside a just a regular old Elite. But I think as of right now, despite the fact that getting these figures has been super freaking annoying and super just like it's impossible, this wave might be my favorite of the year, like the Ultimates. I've really enjoyed collecting these, and as they're getting better, the value is getting better. So I'm very happy with the Ultimate Edition line and where it has gone. And hopefully we just see it improve and continue to grow in the future. Like I said, this is another great release, so I can't wait for the next one. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. All the things YouTubers ask you to do, just do it for me as well. And I will be back with another video, hopefully very, very soon. Bye.